Should you buy the Nike Air Deldon 1? Definitely. Let's check them out.
Short days, long nights, we be gone to the morn. Yeah, they love it, all eyes on me when I put it on. Hallways, porch lights, gotta keep the evil off. Oh me, oh my, I just be like, we'll be gone. 10 roll spliffs in a VIP, we don't do like.
Welcome back to our channel. In this video, I'm going to break down categories like cushion, traction, support, and other aspects for this basketball shoe. But before I get into that, I do just want to touch on some of the basic info first. So this is Elena Deldon, who is a two-time WNBA MVP. This is her first signature shoe. And they shortened the name down too for some reason. Like maybe some people just have a hard time saying Deldon, so Nike went with the Air Deldon. But either way, this shoe is going to retail for $120. So that's not a bad place for this shoe line to start at all. But looking more at the shoe model itself, first off, actually, I do want to give a small shout out, I guess, to the box. They gave her like a really cool little cursive font on that Nike box that released with these. And honestly, I mean, it's really simple, but I mean, I still like it. As for the shoe model itself, before I get into the shoe, I do want to bring some attention just to the specific colorway. These are going to have sort of a lime tint, and it is like the lime colorway for this shoe. And Elena actually battled Lyme disease throughout her career whenever she was playing in the WNBA. So honestly, something that I found out about the shoe is there's a lot of personal touches to her that made it on here, and I'm going to get more to that here in a second. But as for the model itself, honestly, at first glance, these reminded me a lot of like a Hyperdunk or just something like that. I feel like this, like the build and just like the mold is definitely similar to some Hyperdunks that I grew up playing in. But once I got them in hand, I don't know, like I actually really do like this shoe a lot. These have like a Velcro patch on each side of the tongue, and it's like a super weird setup. This is one of those shoes where it has pieces on there that you just haven't seen a lot before. I mean, what you're gonna do is you like put these on by Velcroing the straps down, and the laces actually feed through those straps. And like doing that is gonna just like help tighten the model on your foot for more performance. I'm gonna talk about that here a little bit more once I get to like the support category. But I mean, it's just super cool. You don't see that very often at all. And like the reason that whole setup is there is because this is a Fly Ease shoe model. And Fly Ease is something that Nike has been working on and kind of has been developing over the last few years. And that's just some technology that helps make shoes a little bit more handicap accessible to get on. And Elena, I mean, this is another spot. Elena actually has a sister who was born with autism and cerebral palsy. So this does hit like especially close to her. I'm assuming that's why they tried to make that special emphasis on her model. So I really just love the concept of this shoe. And now I'll just draw out a few more pieces before we finally get to how these play. But you are going to have some EDD text on that little patch. It kind of shows up around the toe, which is clearly just going to be for her abbreviation of her name. Then I like how on the heel you can see that Air Deldon works kind of faintly into the gray overlays on the backside there. It's really faint, but you can still kind of see it. And then the gray swoosh on the upper, they're going to have like these two lines that are like at the tip of the swoosh, and at the end it kind of looks like some sound waves almost. But honestly, I think it's just like the two D's at the end of her like player logo they just kind of threw on there just to like as another representation. So this is definitely one of those shoes for me where I was like looking at it from the surface on like whenever the photos just came out, I was like, oh yeah, it's a pretty cool looking shoe. And then getting them in hand, it honestly gives me a little bit more appreciation for just like some of the details they put into this model. But now let's go and see how they hold up on the court. So now checking out the materials and the performance side, the first thing we'll look at is the cushioning. But before I talk about how they feel on the court, I'll give you the cushioning layout first. So the Nike Air Deldon 1 has a full-length Nike Air unit that is stitched directly to the upper to help reduce layers and overall weight while bringing the cushioning right up under your foot. Then there's also going to be a 4-foot Zoom Air unit that returns energy with every step. And the spring and speed is enveloped in a soft injected foam for complete stability that can help you play at a high level for longer. That's pretty much, just how like Nike lays it out there for you. So that unit stitched to the upper, along with that Zoom Air unit in the 4-foot, does remind me a lot of like, the cushioning setup that KD's line has been using. And you can see that Air Strobel labeled on the actual shoe, kind of where that midsole is. And that's just a double stack setup that's meant to give you more spring. And the cushioning is like, definitely interesting on these. Because whenever I first put them on, it's kind of weird. Like you can pretty much feel the grooves from that cushioning unit just right under your foot. So that lets you know a little bit that the cushioning just isn't super deep. Like they have a nice initial layer, but they pretty much just, I mean, it says that in the description for you anyways. They were trying to like reduce the layers to help with the overall weight. And even with the cushioning features, being kind of skewed more towards the 4-foot, these are going to give you like a balanced feel from what I felt. Like I haven't felt a noticeable difference, I guess, between the front of the shoe to the back. And the cushioning is still going to feel good. Like it's just not super dense. The surrounding cushioning is really nice though. Like the ankle and the collar are like super padded. Just gives your foot like a better feel on the court. And then using our durometer to check out the midsole, these were the readings honestly a little bit tough to see with the lighting, but these came in at a 36.5, which is a little bit softer than average. And you have some foam in there, like on the insole too, there for the insole, which is just going to give you a softer feel compared to a stiff, just like underneath the footbed and stuff like that. And they have been loosening up even more that I play in them, so definitely not bad for cushioning section for the start of this line. Now looking at more the materials and the support, there are a lot of unique pieces on this shoe, or more so, they just don't look and feel like your everyday basketball shoe. And part of what makes these so comfortable to play in is like going to be the materials that they use on the upper. Like the Nike Air Deldon 1 almost has a fabric-like feel to this upper. And I think that's also what helps keep them on the lighter side for weight. Like a size 10.5 only weighs 404 grams, and for a mid to high top shoe, that is definitely on the lighter side. So I love that aspect for these. But like I was saying just a second ago, like these had that fly ease technology, and Nike actually calls this shoe their most inclusive basketball shoe ever, and it's all because of that fly ease technology. And what that is, just to kind of reiterate it, is an innovative design that has like a collapsible heel and like on the upper, and it opens up super wide for easy entry, and it's just such an easy shoe to get on and off. Like it does just change how you lace them up a little bit though, and I was like, at first I was kind of confused because I mean, just remember like what I was saying in the appearance section, you're gonna velcro those straps first, and then you're gonna go ahead and pull the laces through, because I mean really that's the pulling the laces through those straps gives you a really like secure feel, and your ankle just is like, that's what makes the support so good on this model, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The support would honestly probably struggle without it, but because you velcro those straps on there, the laces feed through there, you pull those tight, it really just wraps around your foot, like your ankle's just so secure the whole time, so you have nothing to worry about on the back half of the shoe. And then you have those gray swoosh, it kind of runs up the midsole too, and it comes onto the upper, and that's going to work for some like additional side to side coverage. So I mean, pretty nice for like the lateral containment on this model. The concept is sweet, the quality feels nice, it's a lighter shoe, you're going to get excellent support. I mean, I like it. Wrapping it up with the traction, as for the pattern, Nike says these use a contoured lines to bend and deflect in multiple directions to help you gain traction and always feel connected to the court. Then they also throw something in there about these being like a zone traction pattern to help you nail every move in every direction. So I mean, traction is always one of like the biggest question marks whenever it comes to newer shoes, or maybe not like the biggest, but I'm always just kind of curious about it. But I had little questions on these. And honestly, it's kind of funny. Like I put the Nike Air Deldon 1 on, and I started to kind of like walk onto the court just to kind of see just how they were going to feel initially, and they started squeaking just from that moment, so that's always going to be a good sign. And whenever we did our squeak test, like there's definitely some good bite, and the traction is just one of the better spots on an already good shoe. And they're pretty sticky, and I haven't had any issues like sliding around, and it's not as much of a dust collector from what I've noticed. And with the grooves being thicker and the impact protection being solid, definitely in play for outdoor use. But to finish off with sizing, I did go true to size, and that was perfect for me. You're gonna have about a thumb's worth left over for the length, and this is a handicap accessible shoe with that fly ease heel, so you obviously don't have to worry too much about it being a narrow fit at all. It's gonna be more on that like standard to wide fit. So overall, I mean, this is a really nice shoe. I am impressed. I mean, it's already Nike's most inclusive basketball shoe ever with that fly ease, but they perform well on top of that. Like the cushion is definitely above average, the materials are light and they feel nice, the support is great with those Velcro straps, and nothing bad to say about the traction. That's another bright spot on this model. All for $120. So should you buy the Nike Air Deldon 1? Of course. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch. Feel free to throw us a follow or a sub if you like this video. And if you're interested in buying the Nike Air Deldon 1 and you want to support our channel, just click the link here on screen, or we have links for these shoes down below or in our bio, so feel free to check that out. But until next review, I'm Lance from Shoewear. Peace.